You're sitting on the couch, you're not looking at your phone, you're not watching TV, you're doing absolutely nothing. And after about 90 seconds, something happens. A tension, light but precise, rises in your chest. A voice, not shouting, just constant, and asks you, what are you doing with your life right now? You haven't broken any law, you haven't hurt anyone, you've simply for a moment stopped producing, and your body's treating it like a mistake. This isn't laziness ashamed of itself. It's something stranger, anxiety born from not doing. And if this feels familiar, you're not broken. You're simply the perfect product of a system that learned to sell your own rest back to you as guilt. Let's call it by its name: toxic productivity. It's not just working too much, it's subtler and deeper. The inability to sit still without feeling indebted to someone. Your boss, your parents, an idea of yourself built entirely of output, results, performance. Toxic productivity doesn't ask you to work harder. It asks for something crueler. It asks you to earn your rest. And if you can't prove you've earned it, that rest turns into guilt. Think about it. How many times have you said, "I deserve this," before allowing yourself a break? As if rest were a reward, not a biological need as fundamental as breathing. This voice wasn't born with you, you inherited it. For most of human history, free time wasn't a problem to be solved. It was simply time. The Greeks called leisure schola, the root of the word school. Unoccupied time wasn't empty. It was the space where thought and philosophy itself were born. Then came the work ethic we know today, deeply rooted in industrial culture. A person's worth measured by their output. You're no longer a human being who does things. You've become a human being who is the things they do. Add to this technology, your phone no longer lets you get bored. Every gap gets immediately filled. We've eliminated boredom from daily life, and with it, its most important function: teaching us to be with ourselves without running away. But why does doing nothing generate anxiety? This is where something psychology calls existential avoidance comes in. When you're busy, truly busy, buried under deadlines and notifications, you don't have time for bigger questions. Who am I outside my work? Am I living the life I want? Am I actually okay? Constant doing works like an anesthetic. Every new task postpones the encounter with ourselves. The moment you stop, that anesthetic fails. All those questions quietly accumulating surface at once. It's no coincidence anxiety hits harder in stillness than in chaos. In chaos, you know what comes next. In stillness, you're forced to face what's left, which is simply yourself. There's a cruel irony here. The more we try to optimize rest, the less we actually rest. We've turned free time into a project. Meditation tracked on an app. Vacations planned to the minute. Hobbies turned into side hustles because an activity producing nothing feels today almost immoral. The result is we no longer allow ourselves rest. We allow ourselves productivity disguised as rest. And somewhere the body knows. That's why the anxiety never leaves. You never stopped running, you just changed direction. There's a Dutch word for an idea almost foreign to the modern mind, niksen. It means doing nothing. Not meditating with a purpose. Not resting to recharge and come back more productive. Just being. With no goal, no justification. It's uncomfortable because it breaks our era's most important unwritten rule. That everything, including rest, must have a return on investment. But maybe that's the point. Maybe the value of doing nothing isn't in what it produces. It's in what it doesn't demand. No performance. No result. No requirement for once that you be useful to anyone, including yourself. Maybe the right question isn't, how can I rest more? It's, who am I when I'm not producing anything? If that scares you, if existing without a goal or deadline leaves you facing an emptiness hard to look at, this isn't a laziness problem. It's an identity problem. We've built our worth almost entirely on doing and almost none of it on being. No app, no perfectly organized vacation can fix this because the problem isn't a lack of free time. It's the fear of what we find once that time finally arrives. Next time you sit doing nothing and feel that familiar tension rising, try this. Don't distract yourself. Don't reach for something to make it go away. Just stay, not to learn something or come out more productive. But because learning to sit still with no purpose may be the last act of freedom left in a world that has forgotten how, you are not the sum of what you produce. You are first of all simply here.